to shake shekere for everybody. So I'm Deborah Omojo, and we're making sense of the big public health stuff that affects us all, one conversation at a time. So if this is the first time you're watching my video, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. If this is not the first video you're watching, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. So I have a shekere that I want to be shaking, but I don't know if I want to be shaking the shekere for first timers or I want to be shaking my shekere for returning watchers, if that makes sense. If you listen to radio, let's say a radio station, they do usually shake shekere. So now I'm still trying to figure out who I should be shaking shekere for. So let me know in the comments who you think deserves shekere. But for today, I'm going to shake shekere for everybody. So today we're going to be doing something very interesting, in my opinion. We're going to be learning about menstrual cycle, and I'm going to be explaining menstrual cycle like we're five, but for people that are not five. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So every month, a woman's body goes through its cycle to prepare itself for possible pregnancy, like preparing a room for a guest. And if the guest does not show up, if no baby shows up, the uterus, the womb, resets itself. And the reset includes shedding of the uterine lining, and that is what we call period or menstruation or time of the month or menses. I really hate that word menses. Or I've heard Roman visitors, Russian visitors, sorry. What other word? You know, flower. I've heard flower. It's her time of flower or something like that. Very weird names, but you get the point. So the period itself is when the uterus is resetting after not receiving any visitor. You get that. So there are four phases or four stages of the menstrual cycle. The first is the menstrual phase. Ideally, it's day 1 to 5 of the menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle is about 28 days. So the menstrual phase is day 1 to 5, when the uterus has prepared to receive a pregnancy and there was no pregnancy. So the uterus sheds its lining, comes out as blood, comes out as clots sometimes, and it comes with all manner of things, all manner of changes, all manner of pain, right? So that is the most common one, the menstrual phase. So the second phase is the follicular phase or the follicular stage. Ideally, it's between day 1 and day 13, sometimes day 6 after menstruation to day 13. So what happens is the brain tells the ovaries to start preparing a new egg. Then the ovaries start producing tiny egg-filled sacs called follicles, where the eggs will stay until they mature. And while all this is happening, the uterus has finished shedding its lining and is already starting to get a fresh lining to prepare for another pregnancy in the next 28 days. The third phase is the ovulation phase or the ovulation stage, usually around day 14, half of the menstrual cycle. So, what happens during this time is that the mature egg travels down the fallopian tube and sees if there is any sperm to fertilize it. This phase is a very fertile window and pregnancy can occur. If the egg meets any sperm, the sperm fertilizes the egg and then it is implanted in the uterine lining. But if the egg does not meet any sperm, it sort of dissolves into the uterus. And that takes us to the last phase, the luteal phase. The luteal phase, which is the last phase, usually occurs between day 15 and day 25. So, what happens here? If the egg does not meet any sperm, it quietly dissolves into the uterus, and hormones begin to shift to prepare the uterus to shed its lining because there is no pregnancy that month. And this will now take us back to the menstrual phase. So, it's an unending cycle. So what's crazy to me is how the menstrual cycle is connected to a lot of things. It's connected to energy levels, connected to feeding habits, connected to your skin, connected to fertility, connected to it's connected to a lot of things. And if we say this is an unending cycle, that means every day of every month your body is going through something. So understanding this cycle helps you as a woman to know yourself better and to know how to take care of yourself based on the phase that you are in that month. And if you're a man watching this, I like, what's my business? Your business is that knowing this and understanding this will help you know where a person is, and it will help you in dealing with that person, especially if it's your woman. So I'll probably make a video in the nearest future on the different things that happen in your body during these phases, the lifestyle modifications you may need to do in the different phases, the things you should eat, the things you should not eat, the things you should do, the things you should not do, why you feel the way you do in certain phases. I'll probably do a whole video for that. But you need to understand that throughout, as long as you've started menstruation, as long as you've reached the age of menarche. Menarche is the start of menstruation, usually around 12. But now people menstruate earlier. So some people start at 9, as early as 9, 10, right? Up until you get to menopause, which is for some people 50, some people before that, some people after that, right? You have to go through this all the time, except when you're pregnant. But then when you're pregnant, that is another cycle of hormones and another cycle of building a baby in your body. So, yes, the woman's body is very complex, the woman's body is very complicated, and it's important that we're able to understand it to a certain level so that we know what to do and what not to do, right? The menstrual cycle is literally biology. It happens to everybody. It's normal. It's not some mysterious voodoo, some mysterious happening, some gross, scary thing that happens to women. It has been happening, it will continue happening as long as we have women. So it's in your best interest that you understand what it is and you understand how to deal with it. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share with your friends. I will see you next time.